Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today we have a wonderful set. Actually, it has 3 discs in it. Liszt's complete Années de pèlerinage. Yes, here they all are, played by Lazar Berman, wonderful Russian pianist who was known for his Liszt recordings. In fact, I saw him do the Liszt Second Piano Concerto. I'll never forget this. First of all, nobody ever does the Second Piano Concerto, which is a wonderful piece, frankly. It's a little bit longer and bigger than the first. That's probably why nobody ever does it, because the first is so sort of perky and easy, and it begins with that wonderful tune, da 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 da, like that. And it has the theme from Mahler Sixth in it also. Do, 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 Anyway, but he was doing the second, and he was playing on, what was like a Fazioli piano or something. I don't know. It was like huge. It was like the Titanic of pianos. It had a bifurcated lid. It was so big. It had 2 sticks holding it up. Really astonishing. And better yet, the orchestra was Yevgeny Svetlanov, and the whatever thing he was doing, the USSR, whatever, they were on tour. And it was such a fun concert. They did Shostakovich Fifth, I think, and also the Lezginka from Guyana or Grunya, whatever her name is, was an encore. It was just the loudest concert you ever heard in your life. I mean, the paint was peeling off of Avery Fisher Hall, and they just pounded their way through the Liszt Second Piano Concerto. It was just marvelous. Anyway, mezzo forte, mezzo anything was not in their wheelhouse that night. But Berman was really a great pianist. He was a very sensitive pianist when he didn't have the Titanic of grand pianos and the USSR state whatever, military industrial complex behind him, goading him on to even louder octaves. Anyway, Années de pèlerinage, really just a wonderful, wonderful work that's still too little known in pianistic circles. Bits of it are very famous, but the complete thing is something of a rarity, and very few pianists have done the whole shebangy. And Berman was one of the few who actually attempted all 3 books, or 3 years, or whatever they're called. Yes, they're called years. They're 3 years, and wow. I mean, this became like the instant reference recording for these things, and it still is. It's just amazing. Now, the work is divided into 3 years, like I said, Années de pèlerinage, years of pilgrimage. And what happened during the Années de pèlerinage is that Liszt and his mistress, whatever her name was, ran around Europe dropping babies here and there and writing music and doing whatever rich European people with way too much time on their hands did back in those days. And what you get in, let's take a look at these 3 things here. In year 1, Suisse, you have the Chapelle de Guillaume Tell, yes, and Au Lac de Wallenstadt, pastoral Au bord d'une source, at the shore of a stream, of a spring, a thing. Orage, storm. We love Liszt in his orage mode. Valet de Obermann, that's played a lot. Epilogue, Le Mal du Pays and Le Cloche de Genève. So that's year 1. And, the other famous ones, I mean, the Wallenstadt one's pretty well known. The Chapelle de Guillaume Tell's pretty well known. And Au bord d'une source is done fairly frequently. Valet d'Obermann, quite a few. The second year is Italy. So after Switzerland, they're in Italy. Sposializio, Il Penseroso, the Canzonetta del Salvatore Rosa. And we've got, Sonetto, the Petrarch Sonnets. There are 3 of those, right? And the Sonata Quasi una Fantasia, or Fantasia Quasi una Sonata, he sort of reverses it. Après une lecture de Dante, after reading Dante, which is really, really cool. That's one of his most famous pieces because it's the only sonata thing he wrote, besides like the B minor sonata, the big one. So that's really cool. And we've got, there's a supplement, Venezia e Napoli, to volume 2. So that's all in here. And then we've got the Troisième Année, which is a much more, I mean, it doesn't say where it is, but it's sort of about Rome, basically. I mean, it's a more, what you might call, based on like sacred stuff or liturgical things. Angelus, Au Cypre de la Ville d'Est 1. There's a couple of those, 3 of those. No, Le Judo à la Ville d'Est. Yeah, that's the fountain. That's the most famous number from the 3rd year. The fountain at the Ville d'Est, which was the source of, the first number, Ondine and Ravel's Gaspard de la Nuit, and things like that. Let's say, Sunt Lacrimae Rerum and Marche Funèbre, and then finally Sursum Corda. So that's the 3rd book. And Berman does all of them superbly well, and it's just been the standard that people usually refer to in talking about the complete set, as well as several of the subsections therein. So there you have it. I mean, one of the greatest recordings ever. It's on Deutsche Grammophon, and it's just pretty tremendous. I mean, if Berman never did anything else, this would have cemented his reputation as a wonderful Liszt player and a great pianist more generally. It's an extraordinary achievement. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.